Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WYTV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey friends, take a minute with me and just imagine how you'd feel living the life you are put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it's a very happy life. And so can my friend, Sara McCarty. She's my guest star today. Hey, Sara, welcome to the Something Significant show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, wonderful. So just tell our audience what you're doing these days to leave your mark of significance on the world.
Well, I guess that's a little bit twofold. I am probably on this show because I run a business all about getting kids off screens and outside. We have a website that is helping busy parents figure out how to get their kids outside into nature, having fun, exploring, gaining independence, living a happy, healthy life. And going along with that, I'm also raising 3 feral kids in the suburbs as well, and being a parent, which is probably the most significant, hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Very good. That is significant. So tell our audience, what exactly is a Mac, Mem, and Mo?
Mac is my son, my 9-year-old. Mem is my 7-year-old daughter. And then Mo is our little 3-year-old caboose.
Very good. And I see that you call them your little wildings.
They are feral kids here in the suburbs, which I'm incredibly proud of. I grew up in the country, very wild and free. And, this is living in the city and the suburbs is a whole new experience for me, but I am trying to recreate a childhood similar to what I had somewhere else. And I'm trying to instill a love of nature and outdoors and just being active and healthy and curious in my kids.
And I don't think you mentioned the name of this online site.
My business is called Run Wild, My Child.
Run Wild, My Child. I love it. All right, Sara, let's let our audience get to know you through the mathematical equation of our happy formula. And I think you know the one. It's capacity plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with capacity. What are your practices for building your personal capacity? Physical, mental, spiritual, financial, emotional. What do you do on a regular basis to create all the capacity you need to take good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over to give to others?
Well, this is going to sound super on brand for me, but it's getting outside. It is spending time outside on adventures, whether that's with my kids or alone, with my husband, with friends, with, hiking with the dog, spending time outside, creating and curating these beautiful memories and adventures with my children means the world to me. And as they grow and mature, we're trying new things all the time, which is very exciting for me. I'm definitely one of those people who is always up for a good challenge. I love learning new things. So we push ourselves in new areas. We try exploring new parks and hiking higher mountains. And every time I'm outside with my kids, it fills me. It is something that hits all of those things, the spiritual, emotional, other than financial, because even though the outdoors is free, I do like gear. So that one is kind of going down as the other ones get filled up. But the more time I spend outside with my kids and doing what I love and how the benefit that I see them getting from spending time outside, it reaffirms that this is the right thing that I'm doing and inspiring other parents to get outside, that this is truly magical. It is life-changing. It is very reaffirming to me to see how much of a better parent I am when we're out adventuring, and I want to give that to other parents.
Yeah, that's great. It's actually a little bit of a sad social commentary that we're talking about something like it's unique.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, this is how we all grew up.
Yeah. 100%.
Being wild and kind of, your mom kicks you out and you come in when it gets dark and the lights come on. that's how we all grew up. And there has been such a shift in not only technology, but fear around letting kids be independent and explore, and, the stranger danger, and just, not trusting our children and not trusting others. So this is definitely a different way to parent than what is kind of mainstream right now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, before moving on to purpose, let's discuss an amazing capacity building concept called Kaizen. It's the Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And it means that there's always something that you can do better tomorrow than you did today. And I love it because it keeps me always moving forward in some way every single day. So Sara, how do you Kaizen your personal capacity to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
Again, I think this is a little bit twofold. So there's the business side, which I truly believe in investing in myself and growing my skill set in order to better run my business. So I have to, I'm a big fan of education, of taking courses, of listening to podcasts, of having mentors, of being in a mastermind, in kind of talking with other fellow industry experts and picking their brain, getting ideas from others. Whether it's from a new SEO course or new digital product course or something, I like teaching myself all of the different aspects of the business, because even at 42, I've never run a business before. This is kind of all new, and it's really fun learning. And before I start outsourcing things, I kind of want to know what it is that I'm doing and getting into. So I want the knowledge. And then if it's something that I'm not interested in, the podcast editing, not my thing. I got to get rid of that. But I'm glad I tried it, and then we'll move on. But I do like knowing a little bit about every area of my business. So there's the education piece. And then on the parenting side, as my kids get older, our adventures are changing. So in order to keep up with my community, whose kids are also getting older, we have to try a lot of new things. And whether that means, kayaking where we've never gone before, or listening to what my kids' interests are as they get older and they start exercising more control over what it is that they want to do, and not just join along with whatever mom and dad want them to do. So we're learning new things. Like my daughter's she loves climbing trees. So now she wants to start rock climbing. And that is something that I don't have any experience in. So we're learning little things together. And that makes it easier for me to encourage other parents to try this as well.
Yeah, very good. Okay, let's dive into the second element of the happy formula. And it seems like major life transformations and discovery of purpose often come from devastation, addictions, disease, death, disaster. Some big crisis shakes a life. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I explore how I've used a happier way and discovered my purpose through inspiration. So how about you, Sara? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
Yeah, I think so. So I used to have a personal blog that I used to talk about my family, my life, my kids. It started out when I was marathon training, and then it morphed into a wedding blog. And then it was all about home decor and recipes and whatever I was doing at the time, which was really boring. Nobody ever read it. I just thought it was a fun creative outlet. And then it turned, when I had kids, it just turned into all things kids. And then as my kids got to a certain age and my son was getting ready to start kindergarten, I kind of had an identity crisis about, do I want to continue this? And do I want to continue putting their images and all this information, this personal stuff out there about them? They can't give consent when they're this little. So I froze and I didn't know what to do. And I thought about, what it is that I enjoyed doing. And I loved the blog and writing because it kept me accountable for taking photos and detailing our adventures. And I've had, this beautiful community that I grew, but I didn't have a clue what to do with it. And I thought about something similar to Run Wild, talking about, because I used to get so many comments from parents about how do you go hiking with kids and how do you teach a kid to fly fish, all the things that we were doing. But I never felt like, I mean, it was a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to talk about any of that? So it never even crossed my mind until my husband and I went to the fly fishing film tour, I guess back in like 2017. And there was this movie, there's all these little short films, and there was a movie about this, guy that went, it shows fly fishermen going all over the world, catching these amazing fish and all these incredible destinations and locations. And at the end of the movie, he comes home and his kid is sitting on the couch watching TV, and he jumps up and runs and hugs him and welcomes him home. And I got so angry in that moment, thinking like, why isn't he fishing with his kids? Well, I want to watch that movie. And I know he probably is. Fly fishermen are amazing people. But I just thought, why isn't anybody showing families fishing together? Why aren't they? I want to watch the movie about, how the parents are getting their kids, raising their kids to fish. And then I thought, well, I could do that. I can do that on a website. So I started it, and the reaction was just phenomenal. There just wasn't an kind of entry level place, a resource for parents that were just getting started being outdoorsy. And, there were amazing websites out there that showcased really like awesome parents, like hiking the Appalachian Trail with a toddler in tow. And it just seemed so unachievable. I wanted something that like just normal people could do.
Yeah. No, that's good. And you mentioned that your children couldn't give consent. And so that let my audience see a little bit peer into your other career, which is you're a lawyer. And so talk about, you're just kind of bursting through the screen talking about Run Wild, My Child. Talk about the difference. I'm sure you love lawyering too, and you get fulfillment out of it. But there's usually a different level when you find this thing, your unique gift to the world. So talk about the difference in terms of how you feel lawyering versus creating this wild child that you're creating.
Yeah, it definitely is two different worlds. I still have my corporate day job because I really do enjoy it. I mentioned earlier, I really like the challenge. I have been with my company for almost 14 years. And I feel like I have, a very, very deep experience there, a history with the company. I'm very loyal to that company. I like the work that I do. I love the people that I work with. It's been, it would be very hard to leave. However, I also, have this other thing. So I made the decision a few years ago to go down part-time. So I am part-time, which gives me a little bit more time to spend with my kids and to work on the side business. But lawyering only lets you be so creative. There's no taking pictures. There's no writing about hiking. There's no, there's not a lot of super fun in it. I enjoy it a lot, but the side business, the Run Wild part is just the fun.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, Sara, let's take a commercial break because I want to tell everyone about three things. An online course that helps people discover their purpose and then design their life around it, and how they can save $100 on their enrollment. Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made for good people. That's why I love Happy Living's online e-course. It's an 8-week-long deep dive into you and the inspired life you want to live. The life you were put here on this earth to live. The one that you and only you can live. 8 weeks of lectures and ideas and topics and supporting materials and powerful self-improvement tools. All designed for you. All designed to help you create the tools and the power and the confidence you need to discover your purpose and to discover the life you were meant to live and to feel incredibly inspired and motivated to decide you will live your life to its fullest. It's all designed to help you create the unique and distinct philosophy of you and your inspired life. Go to happyliving.com, select our e-course, and save $100 with promo code WYTV7. And for every enrollment, I'll donate another $100 to WYTV7. For $300 and about 30 hours, I promise you'll never, ever be the same again. And we're back, and this is the Something Significant show, and I'm Matt Gersper. Hey friends, we created our e-course just for you to help you create the tools you need to become self-inspired, to achieve your unique greatness on your own terms, and to leave your very own mark of significance on the world. In just 8 weeks, we can be celebrating a new you and your inspired life. But for now, let's get back to my guest star, Sara McCarty. Sara, I recently discovered an article called The Science Behind the Power of Giving on lifescience.com. And it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway to discovering your reason for being on this planet. It concludes that compelling scientific data supports the notion that giving one's time, talents, and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose, transcending difficulties, and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Capacity plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So what do you think, Sara, from your own life experience, has giving your time, talents, and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and transcending difficulties that you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Oh, 100%. If you know anything about the 5 love languages, gift giving that's my love language. I am a giver. And I think a lot of moms are. I mean, this is something that just speaks very to my soul. I give very freely of my time, probably way more than my husband would like, because we are, just max capacity doing all the things. But it means so much to me to be able to give. And one of the things I love giving the most is experiences. I love planning things that maybe other kids and parents just wouldn't have thought of. I plan these creek play dates for my kids' school friends, where we just go and play in the creek. And I bring a bunch of nets and buckets, and I let the kids play, and I just watch the transformation of these shy kids just come alive in a creek as they catch a tadpole or a crawdad. And the parents, who usually would not be doing this kind of thing, just love it. And they have so much fun. I bring my camera along, I capture photos, and then at the end, I gift all the photos to the families of them together. And it's one of my favorite things that we do. This year, we organized a float trip. It was just moms and kids. And it was my chance to give these moms the confidence to be able to feel like they can do this on their own. And I love organizing these adventures where I'm giving an experience as opposed to a physical thing. But I like doing that too.
Yeah, no, I love, it's how I spend money. I might be pretty tight in a lot of things, especially when it's about things. But when it's for adventures and for experiences, let's do whatever, because you'll never get to do this again, right?
Oh yeah,
and it creates a lifetime memory and lifetime impact. So that's really cool. Okay, well, that's the science of giving, and I agree. And I've experienced the wonderful feeling that comes from that 4th element of significance, which is doing work that creates value for others. And I've experienced firsthand, like you, how the magic of life comes not from getting more, but from giving more. But it's more than that. It's not just the giving that's magical. What I've been learning is it's when you're giving from living in your purpose. That's where the real magic lies. So tell us, Sara, how does it make you feel when you're giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do, your run wild stuff, and a community member writes, you've really done a terrific service to help prepare visitors to get the most out of a whale watching excursion while on Cape Cod. And I'll bet some of the locals have to admit that they'd also benefit from these spot on suggestions. And another one says, after taking a 2-week camping trip with her sister and 5 kids without the men, the husbands were at home. Another one writes, "You've given me the confidence to take on adventures that I otherwise would have let pass. Our trip was epic. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Run Wild, my child, for sharing and encouraging us." And one of your contributor writers says, "It feels really good that writing about my experiences is helping others plan outdoor experiences for their family. The Run Wild, My Child platform is such a wonderful resource for families, and I am beyond excited to be a part of it." Sara, how does all that make you feel?
I mean, my heart could just burst any minute. It is amazing creating something that you love and that you are so passionate about, and being able to share that with people that it changes their lives, and they realize their full potential. They realize they can do hard things. They realize how much influence they have and control over how they're raising their kids, and what they're doing now will set foundations for the rest of their life. And it is so important to me to be able to empower these parents and let them know how important it is to get their kids outside, how important it is to have memories together outside, not just shove them out the door, which sometimes that works too, but getting out there with them and experiencing new things together and being an active participant in their adventures, it means the world. And having put together this team of 30 writers and contributors, moms and dads, parents from across the globe, to be able to give them a platform and a voice that they get to share their experiences and what they're doing, and they get to also feel like they're a part of this influence of this movement, and they're gifting their stories. It's amazing. I feel incredibly honored and blessed to put together what we have. I don't know how it all worked out, but somehow it did, and it just blows my mind.
Well, we can see it in your face. It's beautiful. So it's interesting. Purpose and giving make this great big happy circle. Giving your time and talents and treasures, science says, is a powerful pathway to finding purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings about this profound joy that we see on your face. So giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. And that's the exponential power of the happy formula. Capacity plus purpose plus giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you, Sara?
Yeah, truly, madly, deeply.
Right on. Okay, good stuff. So let's wrap things up with a lightning round. I'll read a few of my very favorite quotes, and then you respond telling us what it means to you. The very first thing that comes to your mind, because it's called a lightning round. So here we go. From John Muir: "Of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are dirt."
Yes, 100%. And maybe even take your shoes off and go barefoot in the dirt.
What if there's bugs?
Bugs don't bother me. You kind of have to learn to embrace the bugs. And one of the things that I found, technology has actually made me more interested in bugs. I have this app called the Seek app. It's by a company called iNaturalist. And now when I find bugs, I take a picture and I can identify the bug, and I can read about it right then. Then I know, like, should I be scared of this bug or not? But for the most part, I mean, bugs have never really bothered me, and bring them on.
Right on. Okay, from Hemingway: "It's good to have an end to journey toward, but it's the journey that matters in the end."
Absolutely. Oh, wow. That one's really powerful. That's the whole point of life, right? That's the journey. The end, nobody wants to get to the end. The journey is the whole reason for life. So you have to be living in the moment. You have to be enjoying the journey. You have to figure out how to embrace every stage. even in parenting, when it's hard, if any of you have had a 3-year-old, I have one right now. You have to learn to embrace the journey because it is so fleeting. It goes so fast. And before you know it, you're on to the next stage. You're at the end. And I never want to look back and feel like I didn't enjoy it enough.
Yeah, true. All right. From Paulo Coelho. One day, you're kind of talking about this. One day you'll wake up and there won't be any more time to do the things you've always wanted to do. Do it now.
Do it now. Do it now. What are we waiting for? There's never a better time than right now. And it's kind of like everybody tells you when you think about having kids, like it's never the right time to have kids, right? The stars will never be all ready and aligned and just tell you that it's time. When it's time, like just jump in. And if you know an adventure that you want to take, if you know something that you want to do, don't put it off. Make it happen. It can work towards small incremental goals to get you there, but start working, get there.
And learn from what you told us. When you came up with this idea, it sounds like, well, no, I can't do this. And you talked about the imposter syndrome and who am I? I'm a lawyer, for God's sakes. I'm not supposed to be doing this kind of thing. And I think too many of us, we let our purpose slip right through our fingers because we talk ourselves out of that thing that we really, in our soul, lit us up.
Yeah.
And when you feel that, go after it, follow it, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think imposter syndrome, man, it is real. And sometimes it is intense. And I constantly feel like, who am I to be doing any of the things that I do? And I just have to kind of get over myself and think, well, why not? Why couldn't I do this? So it is a mindset game, and it is a constant battle that I'm playing with myself to just get over myself and just do it.
I call that
the thing that scares you.
Yeah, I call that moving 15 inches out of your head into your heart.
Yeah.
The imposter syndrome's all up here.
Yes, that's
but down
right.
Down here, this is where it's real.
Yeah, that's very powerful.
So from Billy Joel, paraphrasing Socrates, the more I learn, the less I know.
Yes. Well, boy, that sure does apply in the law. It seems like the more you learn, the more you realize there is to learn. Same with parenting, as your kids age and get older, every age brings new challenges. They say bigger kids, bigger problems. You feel like it is a never ending battle when your kids are teeny tiny to sleep, to get out the door, to, just do anything. And as they get older, things get easier, but then other things get harder. And they're, the choices, the decisions, the implications, the screens, the pressures,
consequences.
The consequences, they're so, everything escalates, and you're constantly learning and evolving and adapting and trying to figure out how you handle the next stage. So the more you learn, the more you realize this is going to happen for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. That is good. So this is the show anchor quote from Goth. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Yeah. There's so much magic in that. It is a leap. It's a leap of faith. And sometimes you're right, when you have to act from your heart and not from your head. And you have to jump before you're ready, and you have to figure it out on the way down. And that is very scary to do. And it's very scary for someone like me, who is very type A, and I'm a perfectionist, and I like to have all my ducks in a row before I'm ready to kind of move on to the next thing. And I have really put a lot of emphasis on, in the last 2 years or so, to progress over perfection. Done is better than perfect. So we are moving on, we are getting things done instead of worrying about it being perfect, because it'll probably never be perfect. So might as well just get it out into the world, and we'll improve the next time. We'll learn from our mistakes, and we'll move on.
100%. And when you're creating something new, you can't have all the experience you need. because it's new by definition. I'm not experienced enough to do that. Of course you're not. That's why it's going to be new.
Right.
All right, that's great. So now, folks, it's your time to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show with Sara McCarty, please share a little love with our brilliant broadcast team by donating what you can to WYTV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. And Sara, I just love how you combined your love of sharing the outdoors with your family and your desire to inspire, support, and encourage others to get off their screens and get outside and experience nature with their kids too. And I admire how you've built an international team of contributing writers and staff from many different countries and cultures to give Run Wild, My Child a truly worldwide reach. And I'm so happy that you shared your inspiring and playful voice on our show today. Please take a minute and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience.
I would just ask your audience to think back to one of their favorite childhood memories. I mean, think about what it is that really stands out and something that was just amazing in your childhood. Chances are about 99% of you are thinking of something that happened outside. And that's powerful. Memories last. If you are a parent, think about getting your kids outside and being a part of it with them, because there's something magical that happens when you're outside with your kids. They get along better. The nature helps parent, and parenting is easier. You get to be less of a no parent and more of a let's give it a try parent. There's something just really incredible that happens when you're outside in nature with your kids. It is a full body sensory experience. You will have, it is hands-on, full body, tactile, everything. And that will solidify those memories so much more than ever being inside, sitting in front of a screen or doing something, on a tablet ever will. So get out there with your kids and make epic memories together. I guarantee you, it's not the big stuff that you're doing that will make those memories. It's the little everyday things outside.
I'm fired up. I sound like I was at a halftime coach speech to get out there in the second half and get outside and get them.
Go
team.
for it.
Get them, team.
You can do it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Sara. And I also want to thank WYTV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guests like Sara and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. A special thank you to our sponsors, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life and Happy Living. Remember, folks, I'll donate $100 for each and every enrollment using promo code WYTV7. So tell all your friends too. Go to happyliving.com, select our e-course, and enroll together as a group. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to websites and social media and all things Sara McCarty. Find her, friend her. If you're a busy parent ready to get your kids off screens and outside, but need a little help doing it, Run Wild, My Child is the ultimate online resource with tons of web content and a podcast and a social community too. Sign up for Sara's newsletter and get a free printable PDF of more than 100 outdoor winter activities for kids. It's all available at runwildmychild.com. That's all one word, runwildmychild.com. And from me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be happy by living your life to its fullest, to believe as I do that a better self is always possible today and every day for the rest of our lives. I hope Sara has got you feeling motivated and super confident and bold, ready for action, ready to start discovering your unique and distinct reason for being on this planet, because that's how you're going to make your mark of significance on the world, and the world is ready to hear from you. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.